E.I.T.H.R con D-Cal.
So, let's start with the E.I.T.H.R.
You're listening to the E.I.T.H.R podcast with D-Cal.
How's everyone doing today? Episode number 10 of the E.I.T.H.R podcast with your boy D-Cal. How's everyone doing? It is Friday, June 10th, 2022. Got a few things I want to bring to the attention to the people who are listening. But before we get to that, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to sponsor of Mile Clothing Line. And I want to give a shout out to everybody who's making it through this heat right now. Here in Sacramento, it is triple digit. And everybody is clearly loving it. You can tell by the mood and everyone's facial expressions that they are happy. And summer is not even here just yet. But you can see the joy in everybody walking outside right now. It is lovely. Make sure you guys participate in conversations and follow us on Instagram as well as Twitter at the E.I.T.H.R, E.I.T.H.R, which obviously is acronym for the elephant in the room. So I like to start my podcast generally off with some type of positive encouragement or some type of motivational things that kind of helps everybody with whatever they got going on in their life to kind of help get over the obstacle. So first thing I want to do is let you know that at the end of each day, if you possibly can, write out a goal that you want to achieve for the next day. Kind of like a to-do list. If you do this early in the mornings, that's also a good thing too. But try to organize it the night before, because usually if your brain is anything like my brain is, you're laying in bed thinking of all the shit that you have to do that didn't get done on top of what you need to do tomorrow. So if your brain kind of attacks you like that in your most vulnerable spot, when you're trying to relax and decompress, write out a list. Write down whatever needs to get done. That way when you wake up tomorrow morning, you don't have to worry frantically about what needs to get done or what the case might be, because you already have it written down as a to-do list. And as I said in prior episodes, what I suggest for you to do is categorize it. A, B, C. A is something that needs to get done right away. I need to get done yesterday, before anybody notices, this morning, this afternoon, this evening. It has to get done. B, this can get done at some point throughout the day. Doesn't have to be right now. It just needs to get done today. There's not a lot of pressure, but it is some other priority. And C is something that gets get done whenever the hell it gets done. It's not a priority whatsoever. Okay, so by categorizing things like that, it makes it a little bit easier on the brain, and it makes it easier on you to sleep, because you now have a list of what needs to get done. So now your anxiety, if you will, is no longer peaking, and it's easier for you to kind of decompress. Just a little bit of that. So what I want to talk about is some good stuff. Like I said, I'm 10 episodes into the podcast, still getting the hang of everything, which is perfectly fine. But I think it'll be easier for people if I'm able to break down a consistent time, day, for people to be able to tune into. I kind of put posts out to find out if you guys are more into morning traffic, afternoon traffic, rush hour, if you guys like to listen to stuff pretty much during the day while you're at work, on your lunch breaks, and everyone has different schedules and everyone has different responses and everyone has different preferences. So what we're going to do is, starting off right now, is we're going to set a schedule every Monday, every Friday, 3:30 Pacific time. Okay, 3:30 Pacific time is going to be the start of the E.I.T.H.R podcast. So you can go ahead and mark that on your calendars if you choose to. But better believe I'm going to be promoting the hell out of that anyway. So even if you don't remember, I will remind you. Okay, simple as that. So we got that out the way. And we went ahead and talked about the scheduling of the podcast. So that's coming forward. Great news. G&S Promotions, which is one of the branches for my company that I'm getting off the ground. It is officially starting to pick up some momentum. I do not have a website at the present time. Okay, there is no website for it. So right now it's kind of doing what they call in Oceans 13 is a soft open. Okay, and what the soft open is, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the people who I know within listening to the podcast within the Business Lounge for Successful Entrepreneur Facebook group for anybody who's up and coming with their business entrepreneurs and just kind of want to expand their network. We're going to be offering half off of pricing as of right now. So there's different packages. There's 3 different packages that I'm on right now. One package allows you to get up to 1,500 flyers printed. You'll have one side of the flyer. And what I would do is I would distribute those flyers within a major metropolitan city, such as Sacramento, California, San Francisco, California. You got Oakland, California, San Jose. You know, in here in Northern California, in the Bay Area, Sacramento Valley. In addition to that, we'll go ahead and do a 24-hour social media blitz. Okay, what that does, it allows you, you can tell me if you want to go Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whichever one of the social medias that you want. And we'll pretty much would do like a full day promo on that one. In addition, you'll get one plug on the podcast. So, you know, how I introduced Mile, the clothing brand. We would do that somewhere in the beginning. We might even do it in the middle, like as a break. We might even do it at the end, at the closing, just like we do with the Pharaoh Development Group, or also for my E.I.T.H.R for Candace Romero. Okay, so we'll do something like that with at least one episode per week. So you'll get one plug per episode for that promotion right there. So you got something like that. And then as the package go, you know, as the next 2 packages go, you get an additional day with the social media plug. You get more flyers. You get more plugs throughout the podcast, you know, and things like that. And then I'm going to have an option right now wherever I have a presence, billboard promoting. So anyone who has seen my billboard ads, there's quite a few of them. Not only here in Northern California, but I have some of them in Southern California, as well as throughout the country, up in the Pacific Northwest, Florida, Texas, especially in the Orlando, Florida area. So that's an option right there. So if you guys are interested in doing that, you're more than welcome to go ahead and shoot me a DM, whether it's an Instagram or a DM on Twitter. To let me know, you know, which package you think about going with, 1 or the 2 or the 3, and then we can do it quarterly. And it's a monthly thing. There's no contract, so if you want to do it 1 month, we'll go ahead and do 1 month. If you're happy with it, we'll go ahead and do it for a 2nd month, a 3rd month, a 4th month, so on and so forth. And this half off is only going to the end of summer of 2022. So I'm just putting that out there right now. So right now we're in June, July, August. So you're looking at right around the beginning football season is when that promotion is going to end, and then it will be going to full price, which is twice the prices that I'm going to tell you if you guys are interested in moving forward with that. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm a little bit excited, a lot of bit excited actually, because it's something that has worked for me and my clothing brand. And I think it's time, with everything going with gas prices and the way everything is in the economy, not everyone has the mindset to do it, and a little bit of assistance helps. There's a lot of other ideas that I want to do, but we're just going to take a step at a time. So I figured this would be something to at least get the ball rolling, kind of get you a little bit extra exposure, and we can kind of go on from there. So, want to do that. So, hope all that works for you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of excited about it. It's another thing on my plate, but my whole agenda is to help everybody else out with we're getting their businesses off the ground. So, hope that as well. So, now that we talked about the scheduling for the podcast, we talked about all that fun stuff, some things I would like to speak about that I had conversations with people earlier. The main thing that really got it going is I'm going to talk about it right after this plug. Once we get done with that, then I'll get right into the topic, and I think it's something that it's going to be a hot button for a lot of people. So just hold on one quick second.
Yo, what up, folks? This is Rodney Farrell, the CEO of Farrell Development Group, and you're listening to the E.I.T.H.R podcast, hosted by E.I.T.H.R. Let's get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we're back. Okay, so now here we're about to go and get into some sensitive stuff that I think a lot of people stir some conversation. So let's go ahead and get into the elephant in the room. Let's do it. Yes. All right. So one of the topics is I like to put the post on the Facebook page, the E.I.T.H.R, as well as the Twitter and the Instagram, so you can comment on there when you get the chance if you're unable to chat or call in right now to participate. So here's one right here. How many of you find it disrespectful if your partner thought another person was attractive? Now, this not to make a move or to plan on something, but just found them attractive. There's a lot of people who are very, very touchy when it comes to that. So, what say you guys? You with your lady, and you guys are out and about, whether you're in the car or somewhere on the night or having dinner, and another gentleman walks by, and you can tell just by her mannerisms, she thinks that person's attractive. She might not be breaking her neck to look at him, but you could tell she's restraining herself from trying to slip up and get caught doing anything. Ladies, same thing with your dude. You guys are out at the gym, you guys are out and you see somebody wearing some leggings, you see someone in a sundress. She's obviously attractive. She's a beautiful woman. And you see your man struggling with not breaking his neck or eye contact or trying to get caught. What do you do? Are you in a relationship with somebody that says, that's not that big of a deal? Are you in a relationship with somebody that says, look but don't touch? Are you in a relationship with somebody that says any type of attraction to another person is taboo? It's off the record. That's not acceptable whatsoever. How do y'all feel? Me personally, I used to be an extremely, extremely insecure dude. Probably in my early mid-20s. I was very confident up until the point of 25, I think it was. And I think it had a lot to do with I was confident in the world that I was comfortable in. And then when I moved into the real estate world, where it wasn't retail, it wasn't a world that I knew from jump. I had to learn. My confidence kind of shot down because it was a whole new world that I had to deal with. So I had to, reinvent myself. And when it came to relationships, my mother always said I was a natural flirt, no matter what it was. But I don't think I took too kindly with people flirting around me, like my partner. because I knew my intention was not to do anything, but it was one of those things, how can I prove my partner's intention is not about what the actions reveal, what the actions show, what the actions demonstrate. So then you get into a whole little trust issue, right? So then it turned into people actually doing stuff. It's one of the things where people would accuse you of doing things that they're guilty of doing, right? For jealousy. So now you got people who are jealous you, or you thought somebody trapped in situations that they feel that if they were in your shoes, they would act right? Because now you have to deal with this self-regulating disorder. It's so damn complicated. But there's certain people who are like that in relationships. So I'm kind of just, is it valid? Is it one of those, are you not allowed to have friends of the opposite sex? I'm the kind of person, if I'm dating somebody and she tells me, you can't have any female friends because of, this ain't gonna work out. Because half of my friends are one gender or the other. I don't care what you identify for or identify with, you're one or the other. So I'm not gonna not be friends with a lot of female friends that I've known since I was 9-10 years old because somebody did you dirty. Now, I will be very aware of it. I would do my best to be conscious of it. I will make sure that I don't do anything that will remotely trigger, a flashback or anything like that. But, are you one of those people where, again, you and your partner can sit back and, give credit where credit is due? You see somebody, damn, look at her. Oh, no, she's banging. And if you do that, men, women, do you feel a sense of competition with that? Is that the reason why it is an insecurity issue? That you feel you are in constant competition for your partner? My thing is, if someone can take you from me, you were not mine to begin with. Bottom line. That's just how it works, right? But it's an interesting thing to talk about. How do you respond to something like that? How do you handle a situation like that? Would you pull your partner aside and be like, yo, I don't think it was cool for you to, make that. And if you do address it to your partner, how do you respond to that? Do you respect it? Do you belittle him? Do you belittle her with that? Is it like, how was your communication skills with that? Right. So, I have a friend who is overseas, and we talk at least 2-3 times a week now. And this particular person, if she's hearing this podcast, she's going to give me a call. I know she will. And she put a post up. She's a very flirtatious person, but she flirts openly because she's not attracted to anybody. And I understand the logic behind that. Because if I'm going to put it publicly for everyone to see, obviously there's no heartbeat to my words. If it's sentiment and I mean it, I would keep it private. But if I'm flirting with you publicly, that's because there's nothing serious going on and I don't see you in any way, so there should be no threat. But there was a gentleman that she was talking to who, hey, I can flirt with them, but you can't flirt with anybody else. It's like one-sided. And you can't be that way. So the reason why I asked that question was partially because of the conversation her and I had. And it just made me think a little bit like, damn, are people, if you see someone, do you just pretend like nothing happened? Which, if that's the case, okay, cool. But if you see someone and you want to get credit where credit is due, is it a situation where you're either being too inconsiderate, or is it a case where someone's being a little too sensitive? Where's the line in that? Is there a line? Is there a compromise in the middle? Is it case by case? Which usually most things are, but just a very interesting conversation to have with somebody. kind of just, maybe think of whatever a little bit. So, whatever. The next thing I want to talk about is, oh God, this is a big issue when it comes to social media right here. Who are you more likely to get your advice from? Someone with experience, someone who does not take risks, or someone who is in the same boat as you. So basically, if it was a situation where you wanted to invest in something, or you wanted to try something, or you wanted to experiment in something, or you had a question about something, who are you going to get your advice from? Are you going to get your advice from the peers around you who are in the same knowledge pool as you? Or are you going to go and get your experience or get your answers from the people who have experience in what it is that you're inquiring? This is very crucial, right? Because if you look at it, most social media posts, conversations, debates, arguments, most of them are based on opinion of what they think, right? Whether you're talking about something political, whether you're talking about something social, whether you're talking about something racial, whether you're talking about something general, whether you're talking about something regarding family, whatever the case is, right? Criminal, drug use, whatever. Majority of the people don't have the experience of what they're talking about. What they're doing, and you can tell from a lot of the conversation, right, is what they're doing is they're taking what they imagine it to be and playing it out in their head and determining the decision based on that hypothetical situation, right? And then when you break down to them your experience, they want to tell you one of several things, but it's usually one of two things. A, the decision that you made was wrong because you should have done this, not knowing whether that course was an option or not. Or B, which is usually the common thing, the experience that you went through did not happen. Right? It didn't happen because they can't picture it. They can't see it. They didn't experience it. They didn't walk it. Therefore, what you're saying isn't true. To coin the phrase that's been so popular for nearly 6 years, fake news. It's been fake news, right? So like when it comes to certain things like with in the gay community and certain type of discriminatory things that, gay, lesbian individuals face, for example, somebody who's not gay can't relate to that. So because of what they see in their mind, they're going to tell this gay person that the bullshit that they went through only happened because they provoked it. They just can't fathom it, right? And it's very interesting because when those same exact people, generally speaking, are put into the similar situation where they now have to follow the own advice that they were giving other people, they realize that their advice doesn't work. But it's still a justified, well, it didn't work because of these reasons. They don't understand the fact that the shit didn't work because the shit just doesn't work. Right? Or are you the kind of person that will go to somebody else and say, when this happened to you, what did you do? What was the outcome? What was the decision that you had to make? What were your options? Right? Because when it boils down to it, you have to make your own decision. You have to take action for whatever it is that you're doing, right? But again, a lot of people, we tend to think we know everything because we look at the end result and make the decision. There's a quote that says, school gives you the lesson and then provides you the test. Life will give you the test and you have to learn the lesson. So I'm just curious for most of you who are listening to the podcast, who participate in the podcast, who do you or who have you received a lot of your your guidance from, right? Martial art instructor once posted, how can someone teach you how to fight if they've never been in one? And that's a very, very important perspective to look at, because if you've never been through what it is you're guiding me through, how can you tell me what lessons will or won't work? Because what doesn't seem to be working for you may not be working because I'm not applying something so minute, so small, but is having this major impact on the outcome of what it is that I'm looking for, right? So what is it? So it's very important, I guess the bottom line is to find out, who are the like minds that you're getting your direction from. Are they people with a common past, or are they people with a common future? Right? And regardless of whatever it is you're doing, whether it's sports, whether it's, for promotion, whether it's, a homework assignment, whatever the case may possibly be, who are the people that you're listening to, right? And are you the kind of person that can easily get peer pressured by those people into accepting something that you feel isn't right? And or you person that's strong enough to ask deeper questions for a little bit more clarity? And that's a very, very deep assessment to ask of yourself when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? Because not everybody wants to be alone, and everybody wants to kind of be accepted. Like Nasir Jones once said in a song, he's like, inclusion is a hell of a drug. And a lot of us, especially in the world of social media, is hooked on that drug. We need that drug. We need to be included in everything that we do, right? Because we just need that feeling of acceptance, if you will, if you shall. But like I said, I was just curious on how you guys, where do you get your information from? And if someone's providing you with a response that doesn't match what it is you think or believe or have been told by those, are you the kind of person to deny that information, or are you the kind of person to compartmentalize it and say, okay, I never looked at it from that perspective, let me hold on to that, and validate it, either experience or cross-reference it or something of that nature? I'm the kind of person, you tell me the answer to something, even if I already know the answer to the question, and it's something that I necessarily don't agree with, I'm not going to sit back and discredit what you're saying because I don't know where you got your sources from. Maybe the circumstances from where you got it were different than my circumstances, and somewhere along that path, this is what you were getting at. You just didn't make it this far, or I didn't make it as far as you got. Simple as that. So, today we're going to be a really short podcast. Like I said, it's not even 30 minutes long. Just want to go ahead and again, anybody who's interested in partnering up with GNS Promotions, baby, we got flyers, we got billboards, we got, podcasts, we got all kinds of different ideas we can go to do and collaborate and make happen. Make sure you give us a follow and on Twitter, Instagram at the E.I.T.H.R. You guys, I'll talk to you on Monday, 3:30 Pacific. Be good. Out. For you. Have you ever came across a topic that you wanted to discuss but was really reluctant because not everyone knew how to handle it? Yeah, me too. First thing you got to do is address the elephant in the room, and that's what we do here. This is Decal, host of the E.I.T.H.R podcast. Find me on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else